Today, I want to share with you what I've learned about jealousy and the 4 principles that I use to help me embrace it rather than avoid it. If you're new to me, my name is Brandon Bunch. I've been in the non-monogamous community for over 20 years, and in that time, I have been polyamorous the entire time. If you're over the age of 30 and are looking to just get started in polyamory, then I'm definitely here to help out. I can share my experiences and my thoughts and tips and tricks that I've learned along the way, and I'd be happy to help. So what if I were to tell you that there's a better way to handle jealousy or manage jealousy rather than avoiding it or using it as a crutch in your relationships, as something that is a validation of your relationships? That's right. One of the things that I've learned in my time being in multiple relationships at the same time is that jealousy is actually pretty normal human emotion, and it is something that I would say, in my opinion, is something that you should embrace rather than run or avoid it. Now, to kind of set the stage here, before I get into how you're able to do that, let me tell you a little story. When I first met one of my first partners, and when I first got into polyamory, we'll call her Marcy, because I haven't gotten permission to say her name on the internet, so I don't want to do that. But when I first got with Marcy, we had a fantastic relationship, and I knew at the time that Marcy was bisexual as well as polyamorous. And with me being polyamorous, I understood that there was a possibility that one of Marcy's other partners could be another woman, but I was not ready for what my reaction to that would be. I always thought of myself that, it would be totally fine, but when the rubber meets the road, as they say, it's completely different. So pretty shortly after we started dating, Marcy met up with the person we'll call Rachel. And Rachel is a very nice person, and her and Rachel got along swimmingly, and they had a fantastic relationship. But what I found for myself was that I got jealous of Rachel pretty quickly. My thoughts and feelings at the time when I first met Rachel were that, hey, this woman is great, she's great for Marcy, and they seemed to connect really well. I saw them talking with each other, and their conversations seemed to be a lot more engaging. She seemed to smile and laugh and joke around with her a lot more, and they seemed to be really excited interacting with each other. So from an outside perspective looking in, I thought, hey, this is like, they're getting along fantastic. Rachel's gonna pretty much take Marcy away from me. And of course, hindsight being 2020, of course that was wrong. Rachel did not take Marcy away from me. In fact, as I got to know Rachel better, Rachel and I became pretty good friends. We still are friends. And even though me and Marcy are no longer dating, I'm still also friends with Marcy as well. But it taught me some valuable lessons about jealousy and the process I went through, through going through those feelings and dealing with them, and some lessons that I've learned. So I will go ahead and we can talk over them now. So one of the first things that I learned in dealing with jealousy is that you have to feel your feelings. I would say, in my opinion, after 20 years of being in the community and being in polyamorous relationships, our media and our society really pushes people to either avoid jealousy or to just use it as a badge of honor for their relationship. And one of the things that stops you from doing is being able to feel your feelings. And I think that is so critical when you're dealing with jealousy. You've got to let those emotions process. If you run from them, you're going to have all these different weird mood swings, and you're not going to understand where they're coming from. You're not going to know why it's happening. And you're just going to end up a ball of mess, and you're going to cause more conflict in your relationship than if you just first took a step back, let yourself feel your feelings. Now, for me, I am somebody of I'm an introvert. So when Marcy and Rachel first got together, I always default to stepping back and letting myself feel my feelings. So that was the first thing I did, and I didn't realize at the time that this was a crucial step, but it was something that I did, and I'm glad that I did it, because by letting myself feel those feelings and recognizing and being able to point out, wait, I'm feeling jealous. That's what this is. It really helped me navigate the rest and figure out these other 3 principles that helped me along the way. So, feeling my feelings afterwards, then I went on to the next step. I call them principles because I don't think that these are really things that are always going to be steps you can always take. This isn't a prescription. It's more of a guideline, checklist for you to use along the way. But the next principle to pay attention to is to assess those feelings. Now, this is the part where I had to learn how to do things. When I first met Rachel, and her and I got to know each other more, there was a lot of mixed emotions, and every time all 3 of us hung out for any reason, there was still residual jealousy effects going on. So did not quite understand what was happening. So it took me actually taking out a journal and a notebook and sitting down and writing out how I felt about things. And that's when having those emotions and those feelings put on paper in front of me allowed me to process them from a distance. I wasn't feeling them, and I wasn't in the midst of thinking about them, so my brain was less likely to rationalize or justify what those feelings were, and that really helped. So that's the second principle, is to go ahead and assess those feelings, figure out where they're coming from, try to pinpoint them, pinpoint why they're happening, which is probably one of the most crucial points in the assessment category, or assessment part of the principles, and figure out why they're happening, so that way you can move forward with this next crucial step. The next principle is to connect. Now, you want to connect with friends and family. I would not connect with your partner just yet, because if you connect with your partner, they're going to want or expect some kind of resolution to this thing. If you're feeling jealous or whatever, they're going to want an end to that. They're going to want, especially if they want to stay with you, they're going to want to know that you're not feeling jealous anymore, or where to go from that point. If you're still in the process of figuring things out and pinpointing what they are and what you want to do about them, then there's no point at that point in talking to your partner just yet. But a good idea would be to talk to friends and family, which is one of the things I did. I talked to some of my close friends, especially online at the time, and gave out the scenario. At the time we were doing audio video chat, so it wasn't really hard for me to hop on audio video and talk with friends, and kind of like what they do now, we would call it FaceTime, but this was before social media, so it was a special audio video website. And we talked to friends. I talked to my friends and I told them about the situation, and I got their perspective on it, and got a few different perspectives on what I was thinking and feeling, and that really gave me some clarity on how to move forward, what I was thinking and feeling, and how to express those feelings. So after connecting, then you want to move on to the next step, which is the 4th and final step, which is express your feelings. Now's the time when you want to come to your partner or the person you're jealous of and say, hey, can we sit down and talk? You want to find a way to express those feelings to your partner, but you also want to come with some suggestions for solutions, some ideas, some ways to move forward. You know, you don't want to just come and say, hey, I'm feeling jealous, and now it's all on you, because that's not fair. And it's not going to be healthy for the relationship. But if you can express and say, hey, I'm feeling jealous, this is the reason why I'm feeling jealous, here's how I think I can move forward, and we still have a healthy and strong relationship. That would be fantastic, you know. But also, you want to be open and available to listening too, because in turn, what I found out was that my partner was saying that, you know, a lot of the source of my jealousy was coming from internalized misogyny and homophobia. That, you know, I was still young, so it was early in my 30s, and it wasn't something that I had run into prior to that, and I hadn't known how to process that. And my partner letting me know that, hey, this is something that you might want to think about, gave me another avenue, another solution to move forward. So after we talked about it and I processed through all that, then we had, you know, fantastic relationship after that. The reasons we broke up later were separate from that issue, but still, that was the experience that I had, and it came out fantastic for us at that time. If you've enjoyed the video this far, that's fantastic. Please feel free to share any stories below about how jealousy has affected your relationships. And if you're looking for the next video, you can find it right here. If you go ahead and click here, this is the next video where I will go into how I would approach polyamory a little bit differently if I was starting over in 2024. Hope to see you there next time. Peace.